Once upon a time, in a tranquil pond, nestled within a lush meadow, there lived a flock of geese. Among them was a young goose named Greta. Greta was an ordinary goose with soft white feathers and a sturdy build, just like the others in her flock. However, Greta didn't feel special. She longed for something more. She wished she could be as graceful and beautiful as the swans that visited the pond every summer. The swans, with their long necks, elegant movements, and pristine feathers, were admired by all the animals in the meadow. Whenever they glided across the water, the pond seemed to shimmer with their beauty. Greta would watch them from the shore, her heart aching with envy and admiration. If only I could be a swan, Greta thought to herself. Then everyone would admire me too. I would be graceful, elegant, and beautiful, just like them. Greta became obsessed with the idea of transforming herself into a swan. She started mimicking the swan's movements, trying to glide across the water as they did. But her attempts were clumsy, and she only succeeded in splashing water everywhere, much to the amusement of the other geese. Determined, Greta decided to make her feathers as white and pristine as the swan's. She spent hours preening herself, trying to make her feathers shine, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't change the fact that she was a goose, not a swan. One day, Greta overheard some of the animals talking about a wise old owl who lived deep in the forest. It was said that the owl had the power to grant wishes to those who were truly deserving. Greta's heart leaped with hope. If I could just get the owl to grant my wish, I could become a swan, she thought. Without hesitation, Greta set off on a journey to find the wise old owl. She traveled through the forest, facing many challenges along the way. She crossed rivers, climbed hills, and even braved the darkness of night, all the while dreaming of the moment she would be transformed into a swan. After days of travel, Greta finally found the wise old owl perched on a high branch overlooking the forest. The owl was ancient, with feathers as gray as the moon and eyes that seemed to see into the very soul. Greta nervously approached and bowed her head. "Oh, wise owl," she began, "I have come a long way to ask you for a wish. Please, grant me the power to become a swan. I want to be beautiful and graceful, just like them." The owl looked down at Greta with a knowing gaze. "Why do you wish to become a swan, young goose?" the owl asked in a soft yet powerful voice. "Because," Greta replied, "I feel plain and ordinary as a goose. The swans are admired by everyone. They are graceful, elegant, and beautiful. I want to be like them, so that I too can be admired and loved." The wise owl was silent for a moment, contemplating Greta's words. Then, in a calm voice, the owl spoke again. "Greta, you must understand that true beauty comes from within. A swan is not admired merely for its appearance, but for the grace and confidence it carries in its heart. You do not need to change what you are to be admired. You only need to embrace your own qualities and let them shine." Greta was taken aback. She had never considered that her own qualities could be valuable or beautiful. She had spent so much time envying the swans that she had forgotten to appreciate what made her unique. The owl continued, "If you spend your life trying to be something you are not, you will always feel inadequate. But if you learn to love yourself as you are, others will see your true beauty." Greta thought deeply about the owl's words. Slowly, she began to realize that the owl was right. She had been so focused on becoming a swan that she had overlooked the strengths and qualities she already possessed as a goose. With a newfound sense of understanding, Greta thanked the wise owl and made her way back to the pond. When she returned, she no longer envied the swans. Instead, she began to take pride in her own abilities. Greta was strong and determined, and she was a good friend to the other geese. She might not have the elegance of a swan, but she had her own kind of beauty. As time passed, Greta grew more confident in herself, She stopped trying to imitate the swans and started enjoying life as a goose. The other animals in the meadow began to notice the change in Greta. They saw her kindness, her strength, and her courage, and they admired her for who she was. In the end, Greta realized that she didn't need to be a swan to be admired and loved. She only needed to be herself. And in being true to herself, she found the happiness and fulfillment she had been searching for all along. Moral of the story: true beauty comes from embracing who you are. You don't need to change yourself to be admired. You need to love and appreciate your own unique qualities.